So from the time that you started drinking at Taco Bell to the time that the officers got there, about how long was that?
Oh, maybe 15 to 20, 30 minutes, whatever.
Okay. How much did you drink between that time?
I had a malt liquor. The 211 is a strong beer.
Mm-hmm. Just one?
It was a 40 ounce.
Right. So you drank the whole 40 ounces.
I was drinking out of the thing after the fact that
you were drinking out of what?
After I stepped back in the car, I started drinking it.
Right. So how much of it did you drink?
I consumed a lot of it.
Okay, so let's just say you drank most of 1 40 ounce.
It contained this.
So that's your story, and you're sticking. Hold on. So is that your story, and you're sticking with it? That you drank most of 1 40 ounce beer in about 15 to 30 minutes, and that you hadn't drank anything before then?
No, except for that night before, about 2 o'clock that morning, and then whole blood. Alcohol stays in your blood system, added to what I drank.
Okay. So your test on this night after drinking most of a 40 ounce was 0.188. And you're wanting me to believe that that's based on most of one drink, and that maybe you still had alcohol in your system from the day before.
Yes, ma'am. But what I recalling my memory, ma'am, I have no reason to try to trick you, Miss West. I'm telling you the God's honest truth. Like I said, I had alcohol in my system from the night before.
Well, how much did you drink the night before?
Well, I was intoxicated.
So what you're telling me then, if you had that much alcohol in your system from the night before, that you were still probably hold on. Watch where your story's going.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're telling me you had so much in your system the night before that it was going to still be in your blood, and you had just driven to the Taco Bell.
No, I drove into the Taco Bell later on that evening.
You're not right.
But it wasn't a full 24 hours.
Right. So if you're saying that 0.188 is because of the night before, then all likelihood you were drunk when you were driving from the night before, if I'm to believe your story that you only had most of one drink while you were there. See how that doesn't make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
First of all, Miss Judge West, ma'am, I'm asking for mercy, for forgiveness to begin with. I'm not a bad person. Miss West, I completed high school. I had 1 semester in college for auto mechanics. I've served for the community. I worked all my life. The kids was out playing.
Where have you worked?
I worked for Little and Willis when I was a kid at the age 15. After that, I graduated and I continued working. I've been working in the plant for over 30 to 40 years. All my life I've been working.
How many years?
And all different types of jobs all over.
Mark, how many years did you serve in prison? How many years have you been in prison?
First of all,
how many years have you been in prison?
All together with everything, I done did over 2 years.
Okay, and how old are you?
I'm 58 years old.
58 years old, and for 10 years you've been in prison in DWIs and other things. So what mercy are you asking for from this court when you have 19 misdemeanors and 6 or 7 felonies? Why should she consider something less? I mean, give her a reason why.
Miss West,
what's changed?
I didn't do half of the things that they say I did.
Mark, you pled guilty to them. Okay, that's over with. Right? The day for you, in reference to court, the day for you to say, I didn't do this is over. You accepted a plea, okay? I mean, let's cut to the chase here.
Yes.
Because she could find the allegations, well, she did, the true and under consideration, and it's 25 to life, okay? Yes. And I guess the most you've had up until this point is 5 years, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let's go first to when you were arrested. Were you working?
I'm receiving disability. I can't work no more.
Okay, what is your disability?
I got rheumatoid arthritis. I got prostate problems. My heart is bad.
Are you on disability?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and when were you placed on disability?
Like 2020.
Okay, so 2020, you're on disability. So while you're on disability, why are you drinking beer 40 ounces at a time? Or drinking the night before to where you're tired?
There's no
Explain
excuse.
to it.
I just lost my brother. I lost my mother and my father. And the alcohol just don't bring it. They're not gonna break me.
Okay, so you have a problem.
I have a problem.
One of the things we talked about was, when you came to me was that you never went into a program.
Never.
You never went into a drug program?
I never had a chance on probation and that.
Well, you got.
Well, what about when you weren't on probation? What about the times when you weren't in prison and you knew you had a problem and you wanted to stay out of prison?
Yeah, well, I got a device since I've been home.
What do you?
No, what? That's since you've
Oh, yes,
been in.
ma'am. I tried.
I'm talking about the rest of your life. I'm talking about the times that you got
Yes, ma'am.
arrested 43 times for public intoxication, 39 traffic offenses, 17 times you didn't appear in court, 5 disorderly conducts, 4 open containers. I mean, these are the ones that aren't even listed on the pages.
Yes, ma'am.
Pages.
Miss West. They have 5 different other marks. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to
In the
stick with
system.
that this isn't you.
No, ma'am. I'm not making no excuses. I have very much high respect for the officer of the law.
Okay. Do you
Okay.
really? You
Yes,
do?
ma'am, I do.
So that's the 19 misdemeanors, the assaults, the terroristic threats, the
I-
trespassings, the 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your 5th DWI, your 2nd felony DWI. By what you need to understand
Yes, ma'am.
is that by not really taking personal responsibility and making us go through this circus that we've been going through now for an hour and a half of trying to prove that you actually have been convicted of felony offenses
Yes, ma'am.
when you know darn well that you have,
Yes, ma'am.
makes no sense to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Coleman,
I have no questions for the
argument.
Just briefly, Judge, you have everything you need, Judge. We're asking that you sentence this defendant to the minimum of 25 years. He put himself in this situation, Judge.
If I
Go
may,
ahead.
Judge. One of the things in reference to the priors, maybe semi my fault, Judge, because if I did not object to him, to me, it would, if he pled true to him, then it would automatically go to 25 to life without the consideration of the full range. He's got a problem, and he's spent most of his life in and out, and it's alcohol related. I throw one thing out, Judge, but it is alcohol, and he was in a vehicle, and there is a big risk in this. Is that you place him on 10 years deferred probation, you find true to the allegations, you send him to safety, but if he screws up, he's looking at a minimum of 25 to life if you find those true, so that if he comes back. Here's the problem is that we don't know what happens when he comes back, what the new offensive violation is in reference to this. But I have done it before, Judge, in other courts where you could give him deferred. And
I can't give deferred on a driving while intoxicated. Now, we've done that on other types of
Yes, you did.
offenses,
That's right.
but I can't do it on
Yep,
this. That's not an
absolutely
option.
right, Judge.
Okay.
So,
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Segura, you're starting with the beginning of this hearing when we were going through the just the nature of the offense.
Yes.
Starting there, we went down the wrong path. It makes no sense. I don't believe it. It doesn't add up to what your blood alcohol level was. How you say what happened that night doesn't line up. It just doesn't. I get that 40 ounces is a big beer. But if you've been an alcoholic for as long as you're talking about, that's not going to get your blood alcohol to what it was that night, which was almost a 0.2. It was a 0.188. And I have already found those 3 prior offenses true. Those are all felony offenses from different conviction dates. I'm going to find that you previously entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily, find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of driving while intoxicated third or more. Going to sentence you to a term of 25 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department.
So are you Rakeem Allen? So Mr. Allen was here not that long ago, and we figured out when we were in court that day that there had been 15, I think it was, positive drug results, patch results that we had not received. We received on that day. I raised his bond on that day, went into custody, has made that bond, has a drug patch on, and the first drug patch received tested positive.
That was the one I had. That was the one that I had.
So you still had the one in court when they didn't take, you didn't take it off in jail. How long were you in jail?
Like overnight. I got out when I got out the next morning. They told me to go exchange it.
Did you?
Yes, ma'am.
So when are you supposed to switch this one?
I just did a switch Monday.
Oh, you already did the switch Monday. So we should have a result within what, a few days, Anna? Do you know how long that takes? Okay, well, that at least somewhat explains that if that's correct. So I want to make sure you understand, obviously I'm going to get that result within a few days. If it's positive, it's your bond's going to be high enough to where you're not going to just make it out overnight. Do you understand? If you test positive again for anything, you will be back in custody. We'll have a hearing. And at that point, based on the length of time, there are sometimes I can make findings that bonds are not even appropriate. So you better not test positive. You better not be around anybody that's doing it. You better not come in and say, I didn't do it. I touched something or somebody touched me. No excuses. This next one better be next. All right. Y'all are free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Judge.
Yes.
I didn't want to interrupt you. In light of his criminal history, would the court consider, now that he's back out on bond, the GPS monitor in this case?
What's the underlying offense of any? I mean, he showed up every time. And there's not necessarily a complaining
I
witness.
just wanted to ask. It's
Okay, yeah, I would say if there's any other
If something
issues
comes
that
up, I'll
comes up, let me know and file something. Otherwise, my main thing, he's been here every time. We just didn't realize he was testing positive for that long.
I did.
All right, you're free to go. Good morning, sir. Is it Jerron or Jaron?
Jerome.
Jerron Crane. And Mr. Crane was previously in court, entered pleas of guilty in cause numbers 23 DCCR 1406 and 23 DCCR 2233. I've received the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
Yes, Judge.
Have your honor.
Any additions or corrections?
No, Judge.
Judge, only just to refresh the court's recollection that the co-defendant is Mr. St. Clair.
Yes.
Dealt with him last week. Also, Mr. Crane has been on house arrest. And I think has had no issues while out of bond. So we ask the court to consider following. Great.
I don't have any problem following the agreement. I am, however, going to require, based on age, nature of the offense, and some of the things that he said, particularly with regard to being young and being a follower, the ISF cognitive track. And that is not intended to be necessarily a punishment, but some tools to get you in the right spot so that you can be successful in this probation. So let me go through all that, and then I'll explain some more. So I'm going to find in each of your cases, Mr. Crane, that you entered your pleas of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence in each case to find you guilty. However, I am going to follow the agreements that you made with the district attorney's office. In cause number 23 DCCR 1406, I'm going to defer all proceedings and place you on probation for 10 years. You're ordered to pay a $500 fine in that case and to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. And I'm going to go over some of those in just a minute. And then in cause number 23, DCCR 2233, I'm also going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm also going to follow the agreement that you made with the district attorney and defer all proceedings and place you on probation for 10 years. You're ordered to pay that $500 fine, and again, to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. So some specific conditions in each case, the first is going to be that you enter and successfully complete the cognitive track of the ISF program. What that means is you're going to go into custody today. There's a short wait. I don't think it's very long, and you'll be transferred to that ISF program. That is a program for you to learn to make better decisions. You're very young. This opportunity that you're getting today is literally the opportunity of a lifetime. And what happens if you don't take advantage of it is you could end up spending a lifetime in jail instead, or prison, because the range of punishment on this, if you violate your probation, is between 5 years and up to 99 years or life in prison. So I want you to have the tools to be successful. But here's part of that. You're going to end up in jail with some of the same people that I really don't want you to be around. And so we're going to send I'm going to send something over there to the jail so that hopefully you guys can be kept separate. Because if you get in trouble, part of your condition of probation is that you not get in trouble in jail. If you end up with incident reports while you're in jail or while you're at ISF, then that means that you've already violated your probation before you ever get back out again. So whatever you need to do to take advantage of that opportunity that you're being given to stay clean and out of the way in jail, you're not the only one in there that has been given this same rule and same consequences if you violate the rules. So y'all need to get together and go, I don't want to go to prison for a long, long time. All right. You will be required to get your GED as a condition of your probation. That's to help you. So as soon as you get out of ISF, and I'm not sure, you might even can start that while you're there in ISF. But if you can't, then when you get out, you're going to start it within 30 days. That's a requirement. And you obviously cannot have any contact communication with Aleem St. Clair, or go on the locations of 9390 Doty Street, 6817 Terrell or Terrell Street. You can't have any contact or communication with the victims of these offenses. And there's just going to be regular show up for probation, all of those types of things. Test negative. You cannot use any drugs. That if you do that, again, I want to really, I hope you understand, and I'm sure Mr. Gertz has gone over this with you, the opportunity that you're being given today. And I want you to do well, and I want you to be successful. But I want you to understand that if you're not, then I'm going to look back, if you're here on a motion to revoke, number one, at the underlying offenses and how serious they are. And the fact that you got this opportunity, you're not going to get another chance and come back in and go, well, I just messed up a little. Give me another chance. This is your chance. Okay. So take advantage of it. Also, condition of these probations is that you cannot possess a firearm of any sort. You can't have it in a car. You can't be with other people that are possessing firearms. If there are firearms in the house where you live, they have to be under lock and key or out of the house where you don't have access to them. Do you understand? All right. I'm handing you in each of your cases the trial court certifications that shows that these were agreements that I followed. And so you've waived your right to appeal. I will sign that dismissal and cause number 23 DCCR 1082 as part of this deal. And then you can go back with the bailiff.